Daniels.
You can't come out and say he's the best quarterback. I think he's the best, and then get to him in the draft and be like,
yeah,
but he never said anything about LSU.
Yeah, he never said about the country. He just said this is the best kid to come out of Michigan. I don't think you can look at that, and I don't see that. And
I'm also a McCarthy hater. I mean, I am. I'm a big time JJ McCarthy hater. I think he's terrible. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. I've been dying on this hill on the podcast with Collier over there on Purple Insider, just because every time a Vikings fan's like, "Oh, McCarthy," I'm like, "Please don't, please." This dude threw 10 passes in the national championship. 10. He beat Penn State throwing it like 6 times. You can't tell me this dude's a first-round quarterback and generational talent when you don't have to ask him to go do like what Michael Penix did, be like, "Hey, we need you to throw for 450 yards
with a broken rib."
I will say this: you got to give us Vikings people a little bit of grace. We have quarterback beer goggles from 30 years of Christian Ponders, and remember we brought in Josh Freeman one time from Monday Night Game. We got excited.
Dude. Let it go. So Quasey's gonna be fine.
Vikings fans have Christian Ponder PTSD, so we get excited about pretty much anything that could be new and flashy. But so you're saying, give it a chance if you're a quarterback needy team late. I'm not saying top 10. I'm not putting him anywhere.
I'm saying not in the first.
Let's say early second. You're not taking a flyer on JJ McCarthy.
Nope.
You're
third round at best. Third round at best.
So you're more into like a Bo Nix. Maybe a Michael Penix situation.
Yep. Okay. I think people are going to fall in love with his arm talent, and they're going to fall in love with all this stuff. But like, I haven't seen it in games. And listen, if you're in the NFL, you're going to have to throw it more than 10 times. It's not how this works. You have to be able to drop back 30 times a game, if necessary, 40, and deliver it on time. And you are blind projecting that with JJ McCarthy. Pure blind projection. Don't love that. Don't love that when you're talking about betting the franchise on it. Just saying, I think he's down there with the probably sixth quarterback.
What are your, and maybe I'm putting you on the spot here, but like, what are your current quarterback prospect rankings? Give me like
Drake
1 through 6.
Drake
May
May,
number 1.
Caleb Williams.
Why? Why?
I think Drake May is more pro ready with his emotions, with his professionalism, and with the arm talent. Caleb Williams is by far the better prospect with what every draft person falls in love with. Potential, right? His ceiling is so high and all that, but with potential and with ceiling comes what? Risk. So much risk. If you want to be safe and still get that generational type talent, in my opinion, Drake May is the number one choice. Drake May is ready to walk in there, plug and play. He's going to come in. He's going to be a professional, ready to go. Caleb Williams is not in control of his emotions. He's not. He's not in control of his emotions. And I go back to, I think this is a Lincoln Riley problem. Look at Baker Mayfield when he first came in the league. Look at Kyler Murray when he first came into the league. Like, these dudes come into the league with just, they have no structure. They have no bounds. And it takes a while for them to get themselves on track. And talk about it, Caleb Williams is just the next step in that progression. He could be the next Patrick Mahomes and be great. But is he going to get there? It's hard for me to say, yeah, for sure, 100%. I think Drake May is the better bet on that.
Wow.
And
do you think the Bears do the Bears have, I mean, it's so early in the process right now,
They haven't made a decision. They haven't publicly said what they're doing, right? Like, they haven't been like, and I know that they won't, but they haven't been like.
There is no decision on the field front. Right?
Have they even like brought it up? Have they been like, we're going to go back and evaluate? Yeah, then they're not going to draft a quarterback. I mean, unless this shit's already been pushed, like.
Wait, you don't think the Bears are going to draft?
You don't think they draft a quarterback at all?
I don't think so, buddy.
Dude, they're done. It would be franchise suicide to continue forward with a non-top 15
for
quarterback
30 years.
Well,
what changes overnight?
Dude, you don't sit at this position of having the number 1 overall pick often. Like, this is the Arizona Cardinals when they took, who was it? It was Sam Darnold, right?
Yeah. There was 9 mistakes before me.
They
not
took Darnold. Who was it?
Rosen? Or what are you talking
about?
Yes,
Josh Rosen. When they took Josh Rosen, and then like 2 years later, they were like,
next year.
We missed.
The next year.
Yeah, we missed.
Tyler Murray, the number 1.
Like, we missed. We're going back to it. And I think that's where the Bears are at. Like, are we willing to bet the farm that Fields is going to take us to the playoffs next year? Because that's the only option that if you keep Fields, if you don't go to the playoffs with Fields, it was a failure. Oh, yeah. Are we willing to bet our jobs? And are we willing to bet the farm that he's going to do that? Or Do we buy some grace with the fan base? Do we buy some grace with the owner and take a new quarterback and say, we're trying this again? You got to take a quarterback with the one. You have to,
Agreed.
especially between these two guys, between Caleb and Drake. These two dudes could be great.
Yeah.
I mean, great.
And so much of this is about, too, okay, even if you think that Fields, maybe there's another step and let's just keep building the car on Fields. Well, okay, that's great. But in a year, then you're going to have to start paying him at least $30 million, probably closer to $40 or $50 million with the cap going up, as opposed to resetting that clock with, by the way, you might reset the clock with a quarterback that's just better after like the first 8 weeks of the season once he gets a chance to settle in. I mean, think about this is where the Bears have been adding pieces. They've got weapons now. They've got a defensive front. They won a bunch of games at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. If they get this right and they've got cap space and they have another top 10 pick, they could go get another edge rusher or whatever it is. Like they're in a really interesting spot if they nail 2 top 10 picks and a big free agent. But I don't know if hanging on to Justin Fields, because you could make a case, okay, cool, trade back, take Marvin Harrison Jr., take a defensive player, and keep building it around Justin Fields. But if he's not the guy, now you're stuck in purgatory. Now you're going to be winning 8 or 9 games, and you're not going to have another shot at the first quarterback off the board for however long. So I think you got to take him.
Yeah. You have to take one. And then just to finish on the thought, Jaden Daniels, third quarterback off the board. I think you can't pass on what he did at LSU this year. I mean, he looked very Lamar Jackson-esque, and I know Lamar fell to the end of the first. I don't think a team's going to let that risk happen again, especially with the way the quarterbacks are going.
Yeah.
Michael Penix is the 4th. Bo Nix is the 5th. J.J. McCarthy is the 6th.
You know, Jaden Daniels is so interesting because he ran for, it was like 8 yards a carry, 1,000 yards. He put up crazy, passing game productivity. There have been questions about, so he is 6'4", but he's like a wiry 6'4". But you know what? Lamar Jackson's been wiry. It's not like you don't have to be Josh Allen, Cam Newton. Yeah.
Those dudes know how to avoid hits and slide out of things and just fall down.
And guess who missed the whole season? 260-pound Anthony Richardson, who was supposed to be indestructible linebacker playing quarterback.
You can't be a bulldozer in this league all the time. And Josh, he played through some shoulder injury this year too. But Lamar, like the wiry guys, like you said, like they know how to just get down, not take the hit, run out of bounds, and just be faster than everyone at times. Just be like, just run away from guys. So, that's how I have the quarterbacks ranked right now. I mean, things may change as the process goes here, but I'm a McCarthy hater. I have been all year. So.
I'm just gonna close that out. I just want to be clear. And if his family is consuming, just know that I hate your son. I hate
cannot
your
stand
brother.
Him as a prospect. And anytime I hear people talk about him in the first round, I want to puke.
Mad? I want to.
So if the Vikings take him, I'm going to
throw
probably up in my mouth.
They probably will.
Oh man, yeah. God, there's a whole nother. We'll have to do the Vikings thing on a different O-line committee.